According to Pavisha Sheldon and Catherine Bryan, Instagram is the fastest growing social networking site globally. Instagram is a platform for individuals to do more than just share photos. It allows us to connect with people and develop relationships that cannot be reached offline. In 1972, scholars Quayle, Blomer and Brown developed users and gratification theory to establish why people use television, which is identified for diversion, personal relationship, personal identity and surveillance. Exploring users and gratification theory, I've developed the following research question. How do young users engineer their personal identity and relationships from actively uploading Instagram posts? Real-life examples are identified through Hugh Manikonda's and Kamhan Paddy's analytical research in 2014, which used content analysis using 50 Instagram users and 20 of their posts on their feed to find the types of photos that are uploaded, which were categorized into photos of friends, food, gadgets, captions photos, pets, activities, selfies, and fashion. This also portrayed the different types of users and what they want their social media identity to be. Whereas the research project Pictures Speak Louder Than Words conducted surveys with results that suggest Instagram users are motivated to upload posts due to social and psychological factors, which are to socially interact, archive, self-express, escape, and to peak. All those motivations are further developed gratifications for using Instagram, which leads into my own research also using surveys with 40 responses. It was found that people mostly uploaded posts on Instagram for creativity, personal relationships, and for their personal identity. I've also interviewed 2 high-profile Instagram users to find their users and gratifications for uploading posts.
So I've had Instagram for probably maybe about 4 or 5 years. And I think that my experience has changed using the app as I've kind of grown a large audience. I've realised that it's more of like a serious thing because I do get paid now for Instagram.
So I've had Instagram for about 4 or 5 years now, and it has definitely changed over time because when I first started using it, it was mainly for personal use. And then at the start of about last year, I started doing a lot of collaborations with fashion brands and also a couple of cosmetic brands. So it sort of shifted from personal use to business use.
So Instagram has given me a few opportunities through personal relationships with some companies. So I actually work with House of CB, Fashion Nova and Meshki Boutique. Out of the 3 of those, I really like Meshki just because I've developed a really good relationship with their PR director, and she's actually given me opportunities for my studies, so I could be doing an internship with them relating in marketing, which is actually what I study.
I've also established a couple of personal friendships. So there's a really funny story, but I've become really good friends with a girl who does PR from One Purse, and we've like caught up and gone out for dinner and everything, which is really lovely. So it's really nice that I've been able to establish good business relationships and personal relationships.
I do take into consideration how my viewers or followers will respond to a certain post. I think over time you learn what people like and what people don't like just due to the engagement on a photo. And then I also see what photos maybe be trending at the moment, so then you kind of just mimic what everyone else is doing if you do want to get that high engagement on a certain photo.
I know that I do have a lot of young followers, so there's a lot of young girls on Instagram around the age bracket of about 11 to 14 years old. Kids have like an iPad or an iPhone, which wasn't the case when I was 12. But I think I need to take that into consideration in regards to what I post.
So I definitely don't agree with that statement. I think you upload photos because you think that you look good. It's not necessarily coming from a narcissistic place. It's coming from a place where you have like self-confidence and self-love.
So I have a public profile and a lot of people can see what I post. I actually keep part of myself hidden, and I think that's more just for privacy. Step away from my sort of future career and also my degree and what I do in my day-to-day life. And I think it's really nice to be able to do that, and I think a lot of people do that on Instagram, and in that way it's sort of a way for them to digress from their everyday life and their reality, which is another reason why people upload photos. You can sort of change up what you post and what you do, there's no issue with that. However, from an engagement perspective, if you start posting about cosmetics and fashion, and then the next days you just decide that you're going to start a travel blog or a food blog, it's going to be sort of hard to maintain that engagement.
I do feel quite pressured that I need to look a certain way, I need to wear certain clothes, I need to pose a certain way. As you get a little bit more attention on Instagram or you gain a few more followers, the pressure becomes a little bit more tough on yourself. Had my identity stolen recently from Instagram, and someone was pretty much explaining that someone was using my photos on Facebook but under a different name, and they were scamming people for money and online dating and all of these other horrible things. So you've got to be very careful of what you upload on Instagram.
People to report those accounts and get other people to report them. Instagram is a really hard platform to actually get rid of profiles though, because you often have to prove if it is an identity theft case. You have to provide identification of yourself, and it's really difficult in that regard, and sometimes they're a little bit slow to do everything. But I think from a security perspective you do need to be careful. And apart from Instagram, all of my social media is really private, so people can't really find me on Facebook or on Snapchat and everything.